Hey everyone, same outfit, different challenge. We're just ending the How to Eat challenge, but it is now July, and that is his plastic-free July. So in years past, I've been very much involved and very diligent about posting daily tips and writing about how we can reduce our plastic waste, especially in America, where I feel like we do have quite a bit of a plastic addiction of sorts. And the first thing that we need to do, again, first thing that any scientist does, and that anyone that's looking at a problem, is we need to collect some data. And so the first couple days of Plastic Free July, I do highly encourage people just to look at what they are using. And if look at every single item, not in a judgmental way. We're not going to be, again, we look at everything as data. It's just data. But watch what you're eating, watch what you're drinking, and what you're just doing on a daily basis, and think about what kind of plastic that we're using on a daily basis. So are you putting are you getting a cup of coffee with a plastic lid and a plastic straw to stir it with? Are you getting milk? Again, super important. It can be very healthy for us, but milk with a little plastic lid, or plastic lid and a plastic ring around it. Are we eating takeout with plastic forks? If you're smoking, it's a whole other issue. But there's plastic around the cigarettes. And the plastic lighters. So everything that we do does take quite a bit of plastic. And so the next first couple of days, I like to just see people observe what they're using, and then the rest of the month, just doing these little tiny tweaks to see if we can eliminate some of them. And again, not saying that you have to get rid of, turn your life completely upside down to get rid of plastic, but doing what we can. This is the story of the hummingbird comes to mind every year for Plastic Free July. The hummingbird, this teeny tiny bird, is doing what she can to put out an entire forest fire. And yeah, is she going to put out the forest fire herself? Probably not. I mean, she's just too small and putting one drop of water, but she was doing what she could. Okay, so that's the first and foremost. But second of all, she was shining as an exemplar, showing others that by doing what she can, she inspires others to also do what they can. So if all the animals of the forest got together and got mouthfuls or handfuls of water and put it out, there's a good possibility that they could together put out the fire. And so, yes, me eliminating straws from my life, or me eliminating plastic bags from the grocery store, may not make the biggest difference on the grand scheme of things, but they can make an impact by shining as an exemplar, by showing as an example of how we can live with a little less plastic in our lives. So, and the other thing to keep in mind is what Anne-Marie Bonneau, I think I'm saying her name right. She's also known as the Zero Waste Chef. You can follow her on Twitter and her blog. But she says, and it's so poignant and it's so powerful, we don't need a handful of people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions of people doing it imperfectly. And again, that's the key. We're doing what we can, doing those small tweaks in our lives, collecting data, learning from it. So taking that data and saying, hey, what would happen if I change this? Would this have an improvement on the environment? Or even more importantly, would it have an improvement on my own life? And that's one of the things that I feel I excel at, is that making those connections, not just to the planet, but to our own health and our own well-being, and creating that bridge so that we will create what I call positive feedback loops of conservation and fitness. So conservation fitness. So we're going to feel good about some of the actions we take, but then when we get to that upward curve where it gets hard, we can use either conservation or our fitness goals to help us get over that hump and continue the cycle. So if you're looking to have a positive impact on the planet, I have some awesome news for you. We can do this, and you can get something out of it as well. Now, if you're looking to improve your own life, I have awesome news. We can do this, and you're going to have a better impact on the planet in the process. Does that sound like fun? I think so. I think that sounds like a win-win situation. And that's what Plastic Free July can do for us, is, again, using these little tiny tweaks, little tiny habits. Some of them were huge last month. We had huge behavior changes last month with How to Eat Challenge. This month is focused more on tiny little tweaks, little things that we can do to make a big difference in the world around us, in our own lives, and in our community. So for July, let's eat clean, live green, and train positive with our health, with our life, and again, with our planet.